In this podcast episode, John Spencer, an expert in urban warfare, discusses the complexities of urban warfare in the context of the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He explains that urban warfare has become a significant area of study due to the radical urbanization of the world, with over 500 cities now having populations of more than 1 million. This shift has necessitated a new focus on urban warfare as wars increasingly take place in urban environments. Spencer highlights the evolution of warfare and the impact of technological advancements on modern armies. He explains that as military equipment becomes larger and more expensive, it becomes vulnerable to smaller, inexpensive means of attack, such as drones. The use of drones in warfare has made it challenging for modern armies to operate in open spaces, as they are susceptible to attacks from these small, agile devices. He also discusses the use of drones in conflicts, such as the war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, where drones played a significant role in the outcome of the battle. Spencer emphasizes the advantages that defenders have in urban warfare, citing a 15-to-1 advantage for defenders in urban areas. He explains that urban environments provide ready-made defensive positions in buildings, making it difficult for attacking forces to navigate and engage effectively. He also delves into the history of urban warfare, highlighting key battles and the strategic importance of urban areas throughout history. The conversation shifts to the conflict in Gaza, where Spencer provides insights into the tactics employed by Hamas. He describes Hamas's extensive tunnel network, which spans 400 miles and is built underneath civilian structures. These tunnels serve as a strategic advantage for Hamas, allowing them to evade detection and launch attacks from unexpected locations. He also discusses Hamas's use of human shields and the weaponization of the laws of war to protect their forces and infrastructure. Spencer delves into the public relations aspect of the conflict, noting that Hamas's tactics are aimed at garnering sympathy and support on the international stage. He suggests that Iran may have influenced Hamas's actions to provoke a response from Israel and undermine the Abraham Accords. He highlights the importance of public perception in modern warfare and how conflicts are not only fought on the battlefield, but also in the realm of public opinion. Spencer praises the resilience of the Israeli population and their readiness to defend their country at the individual level. He recounts stories of ordinary Israelis, including off-duty military personnel and civilians, who stood up to protect their nation during the conflict. He emphasizes the cultural aspect of living in Israel, where the population has been subjected to numerous attacks and has developed a strong sense of national security and readiness. Spencer explains that urban warfare requires a different approach compared to conventional warfare due to the presence of civilians and the need to minimize collateral damage. He discusses the strategic objectives of the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, in the conflict with Hamas, which include bringing back hostages taken by Hamas and removing Hamas from power. He emphasizes the importance of dismantling Hamas's military capability to ensure long-term stability in the region. Spencer delves into the role of propaganda and ideology in shaping the conflict between Israel and Hamas. He highlights how Iran has strategically used propaganda to turn Western populations against Israel, leveraging social media and international pressure to influence the outcome of the conflict. He also discusses the indoctrination of Palestinian civilians, particularly the youth, by Hamas and Iran, leading to a belief in martyrdom as a pathway to victory. Spencer acknowledges the difficulty of defeating an ideology, especially one deeply rooted in the population. He explains that Hamas's ideology revolves around the destruction of Israel and the death of all Jews, making it a formidable opponent. He discusses the need to not only remove Hamas from power, but also address the underlying ideology through de-radicalization programs and reconciliation efforts post-conflict. Spencer highlights the impact of Western moral constraints on military operations, particularly in urban warfare. He explains how the liberal dilemma, where Western societies are averse to casualties and collateral damage, can be exploited by adversaries like Hamas to manipulate public opinion and influence political decisions. He discusses the challenges faced by the IDF in navigating these constraints while effectively combating Hamas. Spencer provides insights into Israel's approach to urban warfare, including the use of precision airstrikes and targeted operations to minimize civilian casualties. He dispels misconceptions about Israel's military tactics, such as the use of 2,000-pound bombs, and explains the necessity of such measures when targeting underground military complexes. He emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between military targets and civilian infrastructure in urban combat. Spencer outlines the path to victory for Israel in the conflict with Hamas, which involves removing Hamas from power, dismantling its military capability, and addressing the underlying ideology. He stresses the need for clear objectives and measurable outcomes to determine success in urban warfare. He discusses the challenges of defining victory in a conflict where the enemy's ideology is deeply entrenched and the civilian population is heavily influenced by propaganda. Spencer emphasizes that Israel implemented measures to prevent civilian harm, such as evacuating cities before entering Gaza. He notes that Israel waited 3 weeks before entering Gaza, allowing time for civilians to leave the combat area. This evacuation of over 850,000 people was a significant step taken by Israel to protect civilians. He also mentions that Israel created a humanitarian zone on the southwestern edge of Gaza for displaced individuals to go, as Egypt did not allow Palestinians to cross the border. The conversation delves into the extensive tunnel network built by Hamas over a period of 15 years. Spencer explains that Hamas used tunnels for military defense and to store weapons, making it challenging for Israel to locate and destroy all the tunnels. He describes how Hamas strategically retreated to the tunnels during the conflict, complicating Israel's military operations. Despite the difficulty in eliminating all the tunnels, Israel made critical decisions on which tunnels to target based on intelligence. Spencer criticizes the lack of accurate information from the United Nations and the United Nations Relief and Works Agency regarding the presence of tunnels and Hamas activities in Gaza. He highlights the role of social media in shaping public perception of the conflict, particularly through the dissemination of images depicting injured children. He notes that these images are used as propaganda tools to portray Israel as barbaric and to garner sympathy for Hamas. Despite the challenges posed by Hamas's tunnel network and media manipulation, Spencer believes that Israel has been successful in its military ventures. He points to the release of hostages and the weakening of Hamas as indicators of Israel's progress in the conflict. He also mentions the use of advanced technologies by Israel, such as drones with speakers to warn civilians and tracking cell phones to identify civilian presence in combat zones. Spencer acknowledges that civilians can get caught in the crossfire of war and that there have been casualties on both sides. He highlights the complexity of urban warfare and the ethical dilemmas faced by military forces in densely populated areas. He also addresses the controversy surrounding casualty figures, noting discrepancies in reported numbers and the influence of propaganda on public perception. Spencer highlights the military objectives of Israel in the conflict, which include dismantling Hamas's military capabilities, removing their leadership, and securing the borders. He emphasizes that Israel has been successful in reducing Hamas's military supplies, including rockets and tunnels, through strategic operations in Gaza. Despite facing constraints and pressure from the international community, Israel has made significant progress in achieving its military goals. Spencer underscores the existential threat posed by Hezbollah in northern Israel, emphasizing the need for strategic measures to counter the aggression. He points out that the situation in northern Israel is critical and requires immediate attention to prevent further escalation of violence. The ongoing conflict with Hezbollah adds another layer of complexity to Israel's security challenges. Spencer discusses the significance of allies and diplomatic relations in determining the outcome of the conflict. He notes that Israel relies on international support to defend itself and achieve its military objectives. The political dynamics and pressure from various stakeholders play a crucial role in shaping the course of the conflict. He highlights the delicate balance between military strategy and diplomatic considerations in navigating the complexities of the situation. The conversation delves into the victim-victimizer narrative that often shapes public perception of conflicts. Spencer points out the oversimplification of complex issues into a binary framework of victims and victimizers, which fails to capture the nuances of the situation. He emphasizes the need for a deeper understanding of the motivations and strategies of the parties involved to navigate the complexities of the conflict effectively.